Hey now, happy vibes, my friends. Welcome back to my podcast, Vibes by Alicia, where I believe in spreading killer vibes that light you up and give you that kick in the ass to craft the life you wish to live. This sacred space is dedicated to the lovers of all things business, travel, and lifestyle. Hey, it's about time you get the scoop on the latest vibes, so let's get to it. I am so excited, you guys, today because I'm introducing to you someone who's been in my radar, somebody who's been in the circles, in the fashion circles for a while. And we reconnected a little bit in the past few weeks. And so I wanted to bring her along to introduce you to you all. I'm introducing my guest, Susan Gomez. Susan is someone who I've known for a long time. She's dynamic, she's fashionable, and she's very committed to her fashion line, which is something I really, really love. As you all know, I love bringing women travelers, business owners, people who can share some really great pieces of advice. And that way we can all try to up-level our own projects. So welcome to the podcast, Susan.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks so much for having me and inviting me to share.
Thank you. I'm so grateful you're here. A little bit about you. So Susan grew up in a small town in Guatemala where there wasn't any electricity at the time. So yeah, correct. I'll talk to you a little bit about that. She was surrounded by nature and her family worked the land as farmers. Her father was a tailor and her love for fashion started with him. At the age of 12, she went to live in Guatemala City with her aunt, who's a seamstress, and that influenced her to study fashion design. So that took her later on to New York, correct?
That is correct.
And then from New York to Houston.
That is correct.
Right. So you graduated in 2006.
Yes.
But around that time, there's something that happened to you. You went to a fashion show in New York City and you learned about that dirty little secret that they don't talk about in the fashion industry, and that's clothing pollution.
That's correct.
And so that affected you in a way. And I want to talk to you about that because that's one of the first things that I want to talk to you about. Sustainable fashion, slow fashion, recycled fashion, which is something I'm very big on now because after COVID, I changed my purchasing habits too in terms of how I shop and how I support brands. So when I noticed that you're a sustainable company, and let's talk a little bit about Sugopetite, is that how you say it?
Yes. Sugopetite, which stands for Susan Gomez, Sugo, and then obviously the word petite is dedicated to short women.
Very cool. Awesome. Smaller women.
Yes.
And so for me too, that's been a change in the way that I consume fashion and the way that I buy. I tend to buy more resale now in terms of like the things that I like to get. And I'll go on Poshmark and I'll go to the Real things that I can find that are used, right. And I don't buy new again. So tell me a little bit about how that one experience affected you and got you started on doing your sustainable fashion line. And let's talk about that.
Oh, sure. So it was very eye-opening to me on that visit in New York City. I honestly wasn't very aware of pollution, that came from fashion. I was very unaware of that. But gladly, I always think that I always want to leave a positive print for everything that I do. And as I was discovering and learning my way to launch Sugopetite, I learned that about the fashion industry. And it was just, a no-brainer for me. I was like, I am not going to follow that path. I have to make it sustainable.
And so for you, growing up in Central America, growing up around nature, a lover of nature, a lover of the earth, which is what I'm assuming is where your passion comes from.
Right.
How did you decide that moment was going to be the turning point, the point where you would say, this is how I need to do business from now on?
Yes, it was very easy just by learning of the amount of pollution that the fashion industry attributes to the problem, right? So it was just such an easy decision. It was very easy because even knowing before that, I wanted Sugopetite to be a positive impact. So that was very, very easy for me to come up with that decision.
Okay.
It was a no-brainer. It was very difficult because I made the decision and then sourcing fabrics became a very huge challenge for me.
Right, because I did read in your mission statement something that was very interesting. Your clothing is made with sustainable fabrics, and they keep 30 bottles of plastic out of the oceans and the landfills.
That's correct.
How does that work? Yeah, each dress.
Yes, each dress because of the amount of fabric that we use.
Okay,
and it's approximately 30 plastic bottles per yard, and so we use more than a yard usually for each dress, so it's a little bit more than that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the main reference. It's
But the fabric is not made from recycled plastic bottles, is it?
It is.
Oh, it is.
It is.
Oh,
the
wow.
fabric is made out of recycled plastic bottles. So what they do, they collect the plastic bottles.
Okay.
They shred them again. They clean them, shred them again into fibers, and then that's how they repurpose the fiber into the textile.
Wow.
Yeah.
So are there like special, I guess because you source in Guatemala, correct?
Yes.
Is that where you find the fabric, this type of fabric?
The one that I actually use for the tulip collection, I found it from a supplier in Canada.
Okay.
Back then, a year ago, it's crazy how the fashion industry is moving in terms of sustainability, which makes me very happy. They are moving really fast.
Okay.
And a year and a half ago, when I started to source fabrics for the tulip collection, they didn't have this fabric in Guatemala, but they do now. Okay. So I sourced the specific fabric for the tulip collection from Canada, but now I can source it in Guatemala, so I don't have to ship it from Canada to Guatemala anymore.
Wow, that's awesome.
So that's very convenient and much better for the environment too, because we are also eliminating that footprint from that shipment to Guatemala from Canada.
Right. And so how long does it take for you to find these things, for example?
It's very easy to find them when I go to the trade shows. Okay. And like I said, this year, I just went to Magic in August of this year, of 2021.
And that's in Las Vegas, correct? Yeah.
That is in Las Vegas. And it was really great because I could tell a lot of new sustainable fabrics, more options for sustainability, which is great. So that made me really happy because it was a little challenging to be able to source like pattern fabric, like very beautiful designs in patterns. It was very, very difficult to source it like that. But now they're coming with all of that. And within a year, it's amazing how it's progressed.
And is the fabric more expensive?
It is.
Because it comes from that. And so when your buyers, or for example, when I buy a dress from you, it's very important that you share that story, correct? Because I know that I'm paying for recycled fabric in a way, right?
Yes, it is. I cannot even tell you how much more expensive it is. It is hugely more expensive. But I think that if we don't make the change, the fashion industry is not going to change. Right. So we have to make the decision to make the change. And yes, it is more expensive, but in the long way, it's cheaper because these materials last very long.
Right? It's not like a polyester that's going to be cheap and fall apart.
Correct.
Any moment, yeah.
That is
But
correct.
I think it's interesting because I was just reading an article that said that a lot of younger people have this this conundrum where they want to support sustainable fashion lines. They just don't have the money, so they end up purchasing from like Shine and from like Forever 21. Yeah. What is that other one? Fashion Nova. Like a lot of those that are like over consuming, over making fast fashion. So they make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dresses, and a lot of that ends up in the landfills.
Yeah.
So how do you convince, for example, a young woman who's looking to help the planet, but at the same time doesn't have enough money to be able to afford a dress that comes from recycled fabric?
Right. So it's all a mindset, right? It's on the consumer mindset. So instead of like just consuming, instead just consume something meaningful, right? Rather than just, try to be pretty and, wear one dress just once because you don't want to have it again on the picture on the next event or things like that. So instead of thinking that way, just for me, it's all about who you are, right? Dressing is important, and that's why
your personal value system,
right? Yes, that is more important. So, in whoever you meet, your friends, your family, your new friends, they should immediately tell who you are just by looking at you, right? Like if you wear a Sugopetite dress, you know it's not a fast fashion company. It's an expensive dress, but it's gonna last you. Right. And if you wear it again, you should be proud to wear it because you're doing good. You're doing good to the planet. You're doing good in the way we manufacture.
And I think we should definitely promote the idea that you can use the same piece over and over. Like Kate Middleton is someone that I know in the big public sphere that uses the same thing over, and she keeps her coats, she keeps her dresses, and they always point out to that. But I feel like she's kind of setting the tone a little bit in that sense that it's okay. She's a princess and she's got a ton of money, but she still decides it's her value system that's telling her, I need to, wear this a few times. I don't have to throw something away. And so like a lot of resale, a lot of the way that we're thinking about purchasing clothes is it's an investment piece.
Yes.
Is it something that's going to be worth it in the long run?
Correct.
You're not going to just throw it out.
Yes.
Right.
And then the other thing I think it makes a difference also when you buy a quality made dress is that it doesn't fall apart. So you're invited to wear it again, right? Because if you buy a dress and after the first or second wash, buttons are coming off, hem is, ripping off, you don't want to wear it because it doesn't look like brand new again, right? And
you end up buying more and more clothes, so you end up spending a lot more
Way
money.
More.
Right, because then you don't wear that anymore. You buy more, you buy more, you buy more to replace the things that are falling apart. But do you find that because you are, a girl from Guatemala, a family woman from Guatemala where there's fashion, do you feel like there's a responsibility for you with like supporting the local communities in Guatemala, the textile communities, the the fabrics, the fabrications, the warehouses? Is there like a responsibility in your heart, like that you have to do it there because that's where you're from?
So yes and no.
Okay.
So yes, if I think about the possibilities of manufacturing in the U.S. and manufacturing in Guatemala, I would love to manufacture in the U.S., to be honest with you. But in terms of the price and in order for me to keep a good price for my customers, I have to look for what's, convenient in terms of pricing. So in that sense, I'm not able to because labor in the U.S. is expensive.
Right.
So then, the best option would be to manufacture in China. But of course, why would I manufacture in China when I could do the same in Guatemala?
Right.
And help, like you said, I have the responsibility with my citizens over there. So I chose that path rather than China. China would have been maybe not cheaper, but I could have more options in terms of fabrics and manufacturers. But I had all my connections already in Guatemala, so I didn't really have to go back and forth too much.
Okay.
And that was an easy decision for me to make. And of course, I know exactly who I am manufacturing to. I go to the
know them in person, you know who they are, and you feel like a connection because everything that they make for you, they know they're making it for someone that they know,
right,
and they're comfortable with.
And I know the quality of their work too, and I know the employees. Like I know these manufacturers really really well. And if I manufacture in China, I probably I wouldn't have the same outcome in terms of piece. Inner piece, right? Where are my pieces made?
And I think it kind of translates to your clothing because there is a sense of like, when somebody purchases one of your pieces that you're purchasing from someone that really took care about locating people to make the clothes for her. You research the people. I think you make it a point, and I write it in your bio, that for you, it's just very important that you go in there and you do something good and you do something for the better of the community and the society as a whole. Yeah. And not just as a designer, because you're a fashion designer, but you have a line that's very unique to the times, because it is in the times where we're going. It's going to be a lot more slow fashion. Hopefully we can start thinking about taking care of the planet. I think after COVID, a lot of people started changing the way they saw
Everything slowed down so people had time to think through, right? Because when we're running and running, we don't even have time to think, where are we going? And some things that we think that are not important, but they're actually very important. Maybe not for us now, but maybe for your kids or the kids of your kids. So we also have to look at the generations to come. And that's, that's the one thing that I have the vision for. I don't have kids, but I have nieces, and I want the best for them.
It's a long-term vision. Yeah. And I think a part of the thing that you're doing is, and I get your newsletters, is you're educating your subscribers.
Yes.
Every single time that newsletter comes through, you're educating them and why it's great and why it's good to continue supporting sustainable fashion.
Yes.
So that's definitely amazing.
Yeah, it is. It has been a little bit of a challenge because you have to educate people on fashion and pollution. They don't relate one thing with the other because fashion is very approachable when it comes to style, looks. But,
it's very pretty. You
see all that fantasy and you have no idea where it's coming from. So that's what makes it difficult.
Yeah. And I think part of the progress that we're making in terms of like how we change mentalities and how we change mindsets is just a constant repetition and repetition and repetition of everything and like that sort of thing. Let me ask you a little bit about the aesthetic for Sugopetite because it's very unique and it's very special, and I really like it because I think it's very attainable for any woman.
Yes.
Like it's not well, if you're petite and you're small and you're short, you definitely gravitate to your pieces. They're elongating. I noticed that. For a curvy girl like me, they are very beautiful and curvaceous, and they show off your body, which is nice. You're not hiding anything. You're just very proud of yourself. So tell me about your aesthetic.
Yes. So our dresses are classic, very simple and feminine. And that is mainly because it's inspired by me, and that's who I am as a person too. However, I find it very versatile because, classic pieces, you can wear them all the time, right? They just never go out of style.
Exactly.
And they're very simple so that you can wear them, with a jacket or just with a vest or with pumps, with sandals, even with sneakers, right?
Right. You wore one the other day with sneakers and it looked so cute.
Yeah, you can, you can make them your own. They're simple. That's the reason they're simple, so that you can wear them, very elegant or very unelegant, very casual.
Very casual. And the thing that I like about them just being like a single color, like a solid color, is that you can accessorize this dress in so many ways. You can add like a pop of color in your shoes, earrings, a necklace. Even your hair could be an accessory for the dress because the dress is just so simple and feminine and very sexy in a way that's very classy too. It's not showing. Like you're like, for sure right now your arms are covered and you're like have like a little bit of a turtleneck, but you still look very sensual and gorgeous and beautiful. And I know a man is going to look at you and be like, oh, she looks really cute,
Yeah, I get so many compliments.
Yeah, you don't have to necessarily have a cleavage to be a sexy, sensual woman and beautiful and sexy and classy at the same time, right? Yeah. So let me ask you about this. So for you, as you start your fashion line, you start sketching, how was it that you created that look for the Sugopetite woman?
Well, it was, like I said, it really communicates who I am. That's how I started at the very beginning. It starts from you. Yeah, it starts from me. I always get compliments, even though, I dress very simple, like so simple. I don't even wear a lot of jewelry, but I always get compliments all the time about my clothing, not necessarily about my looks, but people tell me, oh, I love your dress. And it's just because they're actually simple. And sometimes simple is better than too much, right?
Yeah, and you're like your own brand ambassador.
Yes. I wear them all the time.
Yeah, where did you get your dress? Oh, I made my dress. Thanks. You can buy more. It's online. Yeah, right? Yeah,
yes.
I love it.
I wear them all the time.
You're an influencer for your line, for your fashion line. I love that. So you said a little bit the other day we were talking and you mentioned confidence. And I want to talk about confidence because You do clothing for petite women, which means in Guatemala people call them chaparritas, like
Yes.
shorties, or like, it doesn't have like a positive ring to it. They kind of say like like it's a little bit negative. Um but there's a confidence that comes with being petite too.
Yes.
So tell me.
So I believe that the most beautiful thing that a woman can have is confidence in everything, not just in her looks, but in the way she speaks and the way she carries herself, what she does. She should always own her confidence in everything that she does. So confidence is a huge subject for me, and I love it because I lacked of it when I was younger.
Okay.
And because of it, I waited so long for so many things to happen because I lack confidence. But later on in life, I realized that was not, it was preventing me
It was blocking you
it
from
was
being,
blocking me from being who
you were meant to be.
Yeah, who I was really meant
To
to be.
fulfill your purpose in a way, right?
Right, and not just for work, but also, with friendships, professionally, in so many ways. But yes, I think I didn't discover that until I was like 24, 25 years old. But once I realized that, I was like, why did I like this before?
Yeah.
And I've been digging and digging into it, and I think that a lot has to do with the way I was treated because I'm short, and it's just not my family. This is very common in the Latin culture, that someone that is short is petite. They call them chiquita, chaparrita, and all these words mean little. Like they
belittle you in a way.
Exactly. So you grew up with that mindset very unconsciously, not necessarily feeling any really negative effects, but you are actually experiencing the negative effects as you grow older.
Right.
And I think that had a lot to do with it. And when I learned that those were only labels that didn't define me, then it was a way big eye opener for me.
Yeah.
And so I have my platform to encourage women to embrace who they are. Being petite doesn't mean anything different than not being petite.
Yeah, that you can't dress fabulous.
You can dress fabulous. Of course, it's harder to find dresses, and that's why
created that's your line,
Petite.
right?
Yes.
So you created out of a need for you yourself as well to find clothing that fits you well.
That is correct. Right. Yes, I had a hard time finding dresses, specifically for work.
Yeah.
Here in Houston, struggled with that a lot, and saw the need for it. I was like, I'm gonna solve this problem because I could.
Yeah.
Yes, I had the knowledge and I had the power to do it. So that's how I started Sugopetite.
Wow, I love it. Vibes by Alicia Season 5 is sponsored by SNR Creative. Are you putting your money towards visibility but not seeing any change or business growth? Well, that is the problem. SNR Creative is a boutique marketing and business development firm in Houston that specializes in turning your ideas into reality in the most creative way possible. From social media management to website development, graphic design to event management, this full-service creative team does it all. The world can't go on without your services, so let's make sure everybody knows your name. You're either fascinating or forgotten. What will you choose? Get ahead and above the competition by contacting SNR Creative with the link in my bio. Mention Vibes by Alicia and receive a free business consultation. Vibes by Alicia Season 5 is sponsored by SheSpace. Hey you! Yes you! Badass hardworking boss. If you're tired of cliche spaces, of the regular and unimpressive, you want to add a little bit of spice to the shared co-working experience, I have just the place. SheSpace is the hub for bold women. It's the queen's throne away from home. I firmly believe in the proximity principle, which refers to the intention of surrounding yourself with the people who embody your ambitions to achieve them. Find that proximity and experience the dream job life here at SheSpace. With membership, you'll have access to a multitude of amenities, a robust calendar of events, and overall a group of like-minded women. So what are you waiting for? Come and see us at SheSpace. Vibes by Alicia Season 5 is sponsored by Finest Blood. Finest Blood provides patients and partners and clinics with service at its finest. Avoid mixed diagnoses in unprecedented times and commit to laboratory services in the finest way. Whether you are participating in mobile or in-lab services, we will provide you with the finest care and make sure your satisfaction is met. No more waiting long hours in clinics. No more waiting long hours for results. No more leaving the comfort of your own home, if that's what you choose. At Finest Blood, our system is designed to alleviate the challenges of accessibility and timeliness of lab work while providing exceptional customer care. We provide you with the best care in anything that we do. Come and see us or follow us at finestbloodllc.com. One thing that I tell women all the time is confidence is a muscle you have to exercise every single day. No one is born being confident. I think you have to really become confident with time, and it's a muscle you have to keep exercising, And they say, oh, wow, every time you walk in, you walk with such confidence. But I think for me, it's just I walk in with confidence because that's the person I need to be in order to walk into a room.
Yeah.
In order for me to be able to face whatever I'm going into, I prepare myself mentally before I walk in that I belong here, that I should be here, that I do have something to contribute. And if I'm not confident about something, I prepare. I research, if I'm going into a meeting and I'm not feeling good about it, I research everything about the company. I make sure that I come in prepared. I always have my notes. So there are strategies for you to build your confidence, and there's ways to do it. And it has nothing to do with being beautiful. It has nothing to do with being tall.
That's right.
It really doesn't. It's someone that just embraces their flaws, embraces themselves and their authentic selves, but says, you know what, even though I lack in those things, I'm pretty freaking amazing in these over here.
Yeah. Even in the ones that you are not,
Right.
It is what it is. We evolve, we grow. And the reason you are not very maybe knowledgeable or, into something is just because you haven't paid attention to it. That's all.
Yeah.
Right? Because we grow as we learn.
We do. And I think a lot of women have this idea that women who are confident are just confident, just like that they're naturally confident.
Yeah.
And it's not
like that.
No, it's not. It's something that they work on every day, and they pump themselves up. And I've even told some girls, I'm saying, just create like an alter ego for yourself too. Like maybe create an alter ego that gives you that boost to move in, whenever you don't feel confident enough, and maybe become that person for that time being until you feel comfortable being you. And it's not like changing your person. It's just like being a little more like,
it's pushing yourself
a
little bit.
Exactly. Expressing yourself. But I love your story. I think your story, it just resonates with a lot of people who are starting to really think about fashion in a different way.
Yes,
and looking at it. And I love that because I think it's just such an important message that you do send, for other women, especially for younger women or women our age who are so used to labels or so used to buying every weekend something new for a new party and not realizing they have great pieces already in their closet that just need to be restyled differently.
Yes.
Or supporting a local business like yourself, that does things for the greater good.
Yes.
And talking a little bit about that and talking about your business model, we had a little discussion the other day, and I asked you if you have any hope to put your clothes in boutiques, and you said no, you want to keep it online.
Yes. Well, I would love to, honestly.
Okay, you would. Okay.
But the reason I don't do it is because it'll bring the prices of the garments higher.
Right, the wholesale process.
Yes. So I prefer to keep it more accessible for women, just, selling directly to them than having to, do the wholesale price first and then direct to customers. So that's the reason why I haven't spread to boutiques.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that it's moving to more of a 3D modeling system and styling system. What is that? Tell me about that.
Fashion is evolving very, very fast. And 3D modeling is starting to, not necessarily popular yet, but I think in the next 10 years it's going to be very powerful. Yeah. We're all still learning of that side of the industry because it's something new, but I think it's evolving very fast. Just like sustainability is also evolving fast, which makes me really happy.
Yeah, I feel like it is as well. And I know there's a lot of new Instagram accounts that new influencers are using and promoting, resale clothing and resale fashion and restyling and upcycling and recycling. And I love that. I love watching them because they can take just a regular piece of clothing and just make it into something super fabulous and cool. I love those things. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about, we talked a little bit before about influencers, and I noticed from your Instagram account that influencers are very important because I feel like I found you through a third influencer, like a third person influencer from another thing. I had already met you and I already knew who you were, but I kept noticing and kept looking at these accounts that kept popping up. And every time I tapped on the photo, your clothing would pop up. I noticed a lot of pageant girls are very, very big on it, which is nice because you think pageant girls are very flashy and showy, but the girls that are on your account and they're pageant girls, they look really beautiful, very classy and gorgeous. It's very different from what you would assume, right?
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
How did you get into that market, into the pageants and the influencers, and how do you find them?
Yes, well, I'm just very lucky that the director of Miss Texas Latina is a close friend. So she gets me involved with a lot of events that they do.
Yeah.
And I also support her with her also business of mental health. She created this organization, Fire You Up, for mental health. And I love it because mental health is extremely important to me and to spread the word of mental health as well. Right. And so we just, run into each other very often in events. And for me, it's a really positive way to spread the word because, like you said, they could be seen as super glamorous, but for Sugopetite, they leave all of that aside and they can be also beautiful in a more simple way, right?
Right, which is probably a comfort zone too. They don't have to be completely dressed up all the time. They can be beautiful in a comfortable piece of clothing, right?
Yes, and they look so beautiful. They
do.
Less makeup, less accessories.
So, how important is social media for your business?
Oh, it is huge. Okay. It is huge because that's how we spread the word about sustainability, about our brand, to reach out to more petite women to learn about us. Yeah. Because that's our market. We only serve petite women. So it is huge. We invest a lot of time in social media.
You do. And so what else besides Instagram? Do you use Facebook?
We use Facebook. We use Google.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How does Google help?
We use also advertising on Google.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we use advertising, and also, when you create your profile, your business profile on Google, people do search terms, for petite dresses and things like that. And so we have our profile there. It pops up also on searches.
Okay. Do you have investors in your business?
No, it's just me right now.
Wow.
Yes, I am.
That is amazing that you can do all of that. Yes. So I'm assuming everything that you make in the business gets reinvested in the business.
Right.
Everything.
Yes. Yes. To this day, everything. And so every time, we finish like a season, everything gets reinvested in the next season and we make it bigger, a little bit bigger every time.
Every time. So you find that you're taking a slow approach?
Oh, yeah. It's very slow. Very slow. Very slow, but very, very steady, like,
like intentional.
Right.
Like there's a reason, there's a purpose, and you have a plan.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
So
love that.
So we already know all the pieces that we're bringing next year. We already have our collections samples, everything designed.
Okay.
We just need to run productions. That's it.
That's very cool.
So we already have plans for next year and already starting to plan for the following year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the next season would be what? Would be spring for you, or would it be holiday? Because holidays coming up.
Right. No, we have already enough pieces for the holidays.
Okay.
We have red dresses.
Right. I have a fabulous red holiday dress that I love. I took photos the other day with my son, but my son wanted to do something different and unique, you know, because he studies that. And he's like, Mom, I want to use the sun. I want to use the glare. And he was so worried that you would not like the photos.
Oh, he did such an amazing job.
Because he goes, Mom, it's not like her brand, but this could be different for her, you know? I'm like, baby, she's going to like them. They're going to be fine.
I loved it.
Yeah. He's a little photographer, and he's, you know, he likes to practice with Mom, which I love because, I love it that he has these ideas. Mom, I want to play with the sun. I want to play with the shadows. Let's try it. Let's do it. And so it was really fun. And so that dress was so comfortable too.
Oh,
I mean, I got in and out of my car, and I put on my shoes. I put on my boots. You know, I was like, you know, I could do pumps with it, but let me try boots. It was just different. It was super fun.
It looked really beautiful.
And I could use it for rodeo. You know, for rodeo,
gosh,
just put some really fun boots on and put a really cool hat or something, like some big turquoise earrings.
Yes.
Gorgeous, because it's a beautiful red dress.
Yes.
And my husband loved it. He thought it was so sexy and beautiful. He's like, you have to wear that dress when we go out.
Oh, that's awesome.
He loved it. He loved it.
Yeah.
And it was a high neck.
Yes.
But it was so gorgeous. Like it just did not have to be low neck. It did not have to go up the thigh. Nothing. It was just such a beautiful, well constructed piece that it just enhances your body.
Yes,
right?
for sure.
Yeah,
yes,
and you have to be super confident to wear too, because it does show everything.
Yes, it's to hug your skin. It's to hug your skin.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I want. That's exactly the dress I'm looking for. I love that. Yeah, you know, and I think that part of what we do here in the podcast is just bring people who inspire us, who share little pieces of advice, things that they can share with other people, because there's fashion designers out there as well. So I want you to, we're going to close out with, I want you to give me maybe 2 pieces of advice for an up and coming fashion designer. And what do you think is just really important that they hone in on?
The most important thing, and I think this is the most important thing, is that they need to know who their customer is.
Ooh,
they need to know who are they going to sell to. Find who's your customer, and study them, what they like, what their lifestyle is like, what they care for, where do they spend time, what they do for fun, for travel,
like the persona, right? It's like the marketing brand package. It's who is that persona? The persona is a person that's purchasing your pieces.
Yes, exactly. That has to be crystal clear.
Okay.
For your brand. You're going to find, you're going to evolve, because as more customers come in, you're going to learn about other personas, but you have to have an idea of who you want to market at the very beginning.
That is such good advice. I think some people forget that part. They get excited and they want to do it. But then you think, is there someone that's going to buy it? Have you even thought about that?
Right.
Awesome. Okay. So what's the second piece of advice?
The second piece of advice is to persist. Like, do not give up. Persist.
I love that.
Keep asking questions. Keep looking for answers. Just persist.
So when it's challenging for you, is that what you do? You persist when something becomes challenging or hard or a struggle?
Yes, that's just part of my DNA. I don't give up that easily. But
you're stubborn and persistent. I'm the same way.
Like, if this way doesn't work, let me try a different way.
Yeah, I know, but it's gonna work somehow, right? Yeah, I'm exactly like that.
Yes, very persistent, very stubborn in my personality, which when I was younger used to get me in trouble. Because when you're young, you don't make the right decisions. But
now that you're older, it helps.
Right, exactly.
Very cool.
Yeah. That's one of the things that keeps me going. But I think for me, the one thing that keeps me going, I guess one piece of advice is like, which problem are you solving in your business or your product, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my uplift every morning. Like I wake up and I think of like, okay, what are we missing? What else can we bring to petite women that they could use in daily basis? Because these dresses, I mean, you can use them every day for work.
They go day to night because, I mean, you're wearing it right now in the day, but if you wanted to go networking, you could just change the shoes.
Yeah.
You could just do your hair a little bit different, pop some really cool earrings on, and you're ready to go for night.
Yes.
Go on a date, too. You could do a date in this gorgeous dress, too.
You can do a date, for sure. Get rid of the
I love it.
blazer and just
get rid of the blazer, put some stilettos on, and you're ready to go.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly. So what problem you're solving is also a good one to keep in mind. And that's what keeps me going all the time, you know. Every morning, I know I'm solving petite problems, petite women problems.
Petite women problems. Hashtag petite women problems.
Yeah, exactly.
So before we go, where can people find you? Where can my listeners go and find you? And if they want to purchase one of your beautiful pieces, where can they go?
Yes. So online, we are at sugopetite.com. And you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Sugopetite. SUGO Petite.
Very cool. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate
you so much, and your story is just so inspirational. I really wanted my listeners to get to know you a little bit more. And also, I want you all to go out there and support her. Purchase one of her pieces. They're so amazing. You're going to see me wear a few of them on my Instagram at think_chick. You'll see that I'm obsessed with them right now. I just did a photo shoot with Alex, my son. He does my photos and my videos. And I just felt so comfortable wearing that dress, super sexy, super cute. And my husband loved it. He's like, we've got to wear that, you know, when we go out. And for me, that's just like, you know, a vote of confidence. I'm like, yes, you know, it feels so good. You know, that's what clothes should do for you. Clothes should make you feel good, should make you feel confident in what you're wearing. And I know some women don't like to wear body-hugging outfits. You don't have to wear body-hugging outfits. You have pieces that are very classic and very tailored and very beautiful. You know, it's just your style, whatever suits you and whatever fits your body and your style and that sort of thing. And I think it's just about your confidence and, like, again, going back to that mindset. So, guys, please check her out. Go over there and see what she's doing. I would love for you all to support her whenever she's doing her events. Follow her on social media. She does events and pop-ups all the time. We met through another pop-up here in Houston. And it's just a wonderful way for us to support each other and to see how we can all help each other. She's doing something that's a little bit different and more unique in terms of where fashion is going in the future. So get on that boat, get on that ride, and just let's go far. Follow me, let me know, give me all your feedback. I'd love to hear from you. Give us a review. I would love a review on Apple if you can, and also send us a message, DM us if you have a topic at Vibes by Alicia on Instagram. Would love to hear from you. Thank you, guys. Love you.
Thank you.